So it's the day after the Met Gala, and there were so many amazing looks that went down that red carpet, and they were all honoring Karl Lagerfeld, who I love as a designer. Today, we are gonna be creating Anne Hathaway's look from the red carpet. It was that iconic white tweed dress with those big safety pins on it, fabulous pearls, it had the flowers, it had everything that embodied Karl Lagerfeld. And a fun fact is that Donatella Versace actually designed that dress personally for Anne Hathaway. How cool would it be to have Donatella Versace design you a custom look? Amazing. And well, since she's not designing us one, we're gonna recreate it. First things first, we need to take a good look at this dress and we need to analyze it. We need to figure out all the supplies we're gonna need to recreate it. So let's take a look at this gorgeous, fun dress that we're about to recreate. So the fabric totally stands out. We've got this white and gold tweed fabric, so Chanel, so Karl Lagerfeld. And then we've got these really fun safety pins that have pearls and gold buttons on them. Gives it this really edgy vibe. The pearls are also so Chanel, channeling that vibe. And then we've got the classic flowers on the bust. Very edgy again, bust flowers. This is gonna be interesting. The flower is called the camellia flower. And then it looks like we have actually some nude netting in these cutouts. We're also gonna need some lining and interfacing as well. Now that we know what we need to buy, let's head over to Joanne Fabrics and get our supplies. Here I am at Joanne, and we're gonna go find our supplies so we can remake our Met Gala look. First thing I need to do is find my fabric. It is like a treasure hunt in here. There are so many fabrics, so many colors, so many prints, and we've gotta find just the perfect one. Did it, we found it. Here it is. Look at this. We have got a Chanel looking tweed. It's got little beads. It's got gold threads in it. This fabric is perfect. I was so nervous we weren't gonna find the perfect fabric, but we did. They have so many fabrics here, such a crazy selection that we found the perfect fabric. But now we gotta find some mesh. We gotta find some lining, some interfacing, some safety pins, some beads, and some big gold emblems for those safety pins as well. Joanne had everything I needed to make this dress, so no need to stop anywhere else. Now time to go sew. We are back in the studio and we are ready to create this gorgeous look, and I just hope that I got enough of everything that I need. So let's start this project. To recreate this look, I'm going to be draping it. So the first thing I need to do is grab my draping tape and tape on all of the style lines. So I have the dress pulled up on my laptop, and I'm going to be taping all of those lines on here and referencing the photo. So hopefully I can come close to the exact design. So let's start taping. I'm gonna start with those style lines. Okay, so we're gonna take some closer looks at the rest of the photos and see if we need to add anything else to what looks like a flame over here, flame design. So I have draped the cutouts in the front of the dress. We've got one on the side, we've got another one over here. We've got the cups here that we're gonna create into flowers, and then we've got the body of the dress. So now what we need to do is drape this gown. So to start draping this, I'm going to be placing my fabric on the dress form, following these style lines that I taped, and also following the shape of the dress form here. Dress form is roughly my size, so that way hopefully it fits me in the end. And now we're gonna do lots of pinning and cutting and drawing and chalking, because this is gonna give us our pattern. I'm going to be using muslin fabric because if I make any mistakes, I'm gonna be making it in my muslin and not in my final fabric. So sorry I'm not facing you while I'm doing this, but this is just such a personal process with me in the dress form. So right now I'm draping the front panel shape that's in this dress, so I can kind of see my draping tape through it, so I know where I'm going to be when I'm drawing my lines later, but I'm really focusing on this area here of the dress. The pins are keeping the muslin nice and flat and smooth across the dress form. Now that I have my fabric nice and flat, I'm going to go ahead and draw my style lines. So I have my front panel draped out, and now I'm going to cut off the extra fabric and start draping the next panel over here. So this is how this works. We're gonna end up working our way all the way around the body until we have all the style lines and the silhouette of this dress draped out. So these are the last two panels that I'm draping. I'm creating the cup for the bust. We did it! We draped out the dress. Lots of pinning and cutting and moving the fabric around, but I think I did it. So now that I have the dress all marked and draped out, I'm gonna go over it and make sure everything is exactly how I want it. And if it's not, I'm gonna change it. I went over it and it is looking great, so I am ready to move on in the process. This is getting really exciting. We are now going to take off the panels and use them as a pattern. So now I'm going to take these pattern pieces off, and then I'm gonna make sure all of these lines are nice and smooth with my rulers. There we go. Now that we have all of those panels off the dress form, we need to straighten out all of these jagged looking lines with our ruler. So you can see how this doesn't look smooth. So I'm going to line up that jagged line the best I can with my ruler and smooth it out. So I'm gonna go through the entire pattern and smooth up the lines. Now that I have all of those purple lines trued up and straightened out, it is time to cut right where I just marked them. So this is going to be the sewing line, and then later on, I'm gonna have to add seam allowance to it. We are almost done with this pattern. Whoosh, all done cutting that out. Now that I've finally finished draping and I've got the pattern all set, it is time to start cutting out the fabric. We have so many beautiful yards of beaded tweed fabric. So I'm gonna lay my pattern out on it, and then I'm going to start cutting. And because this pattern doesn't have seam allowance, I need to make sure that I leave my 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around on all of the edges. After I cut out all of that beautiful tweed fabric, I'm going to cut out my mesh pieces. Whoosh, we did it. We've got everything cut out. Let's take a look at it. Look at this beautiful beaded fabric that I got cut out. We've got the sheer netting for the insets. We've got all of our unique panels because this dress is asymmetrical. What a long day of creating this Met Gala look. It has been so exciting through all of the draping and the cutting and the figuring out and the buying of the supplies. But I am gonna call it a night. It is late, and I will be back tomorrow for some sewing action and to make this dress come alive and see how it turns out. Hey everyone, I am refreshed, I got some sleep, and I am ready to make this red carpet look happen. So let's get sewing. The first thing I'm going to start sewing are the back princess line panels. Those are super easy, just nice, straight, long seam. But these seams are filled with beads. So I've got to stop and cut the beads out before I continue sewing because I did break a few needles, and then I decided, you know what, I got to remove all of these beads. Oh my gosh. After the back princess line panels, I'm going to start putting in those mesh insets in between the other panels. This is really tricky because these are really curved and they have a lot of shape to them. So I got to make sure I keep that integrity of the design with that shape. So I'm gonna pin all of these and make sure I get in there and keep that shape. And I've got 2 layers of mesh, and they wanna slip around and move around a lot. So I've gotta really make sure that they stay right where they belong. I won't lie, that mesh really gave me some trouble. Now that the panels are all sewn up, it's time to add the zipper. I decided to put the zipper at center back for this dress, and again, I had to remove all of those beads so they didn't get in the way of the zipper. And then after After that, I'm going to add the frayed fringe edge to all of the openings and the hem, just like Anne Hathaway's dress. What I'm gonna do is zigzag the edge about 1/2 inch away from the raw edge, and then I've gotta go back and I've gotta fray all of those edges by hand. After all of that fraying, my nerves were frayed too. Next, I had to sew the bust cups, and well, the first set of them did not work out. These are very small, and well, there's no curvature to them, so you can guess. I sewed them on, finished them, they looked beautiful, and they did not fit. So I had to seam rip them off and make a whole new set of bust cups. That part definitely took some time to fix. And for extra reinforcement, I added a miniature little sheer strap to the side just to make sure this dress does not fall down. Next, it's time to lay out all the safety pins, all the buttons, and all the beads and figure out the placement of exactly where they go on the dress. For this, I referenced the photo and tried to make it as accurate as I could with what I had. And I gotta say, I'm loving how this turned out. And then I had to put the finishing touches on the bust, those beautiful flowers. So I designed the flowers, glued them together, and then hand sewed them on the dress. And last but not least, I had to make the arm coverings for the finishing touch on this look. Oh my God, what a process it has been creating this dress. It has taken me 2 days to do this. Now is the super exciting part and nerve-wracking. I get to try the dress on and see how I did recreating it. Fingers crossed. We did it, here it is. We have got our red carpet Anne Hathaway look, flowers and all. I love these big chunky safety pins and beads and pearls with these sheer insets on the dress. I think it is so fun. It is such a great detail. I love all of the fringed edges on the openings and the slits as well. There's just so much detail in this dress. This project was so fun. I just love Karl Lagerfeld. He is one of my favorite designers, and I even have a studio cat too, just like Karl did. Hi, Iris. This project was challenging, but also very inspirational and rewarding. It's really cool to go through that process and see what the other designers are going through to create a look. It has been an exhausting 2 days of making this look happen instantly, but I'd say we did it. So next time you see a look on the red carpet or the runway that you like, why don't you try recreating it? It might be challenging, but you're definitely gonna learn a few things along the way and get inspired for your own designs. Speaking of inspiring, I had such a great time partnering with Joanne to create this dress. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia today. I hope you enjoyed this Met Gala red carpet runway look. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of it because I would love to know. And if you want to see more of these red carpet recreations, let me know as well. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Sew Anastasia and hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos come out. And don't forget, I also teach sewing classes in my design studio here in Chicago, Illinois. And later this spring, we're gonna have a sewing academy online, so make sure you check that out too. And if you want to follow the action in the design studio, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all the other social media, so that way we can stay connected and creative together. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.